How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper, and my goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards in trading while the price is going up or down. So, welcome to our beginning of what is crypto and how to get into crypto. Our Crypto 101 tutorial. We're going to first start off with crypto wallets, why you'd want to use these over an exchange and what they are. And then later in the series, we'll cover how you can use them to buy crypto, how you can use them to stake, and how that's more secure than doing it through an exchange and trusting an exchange. Hopefully after this video you'll understand why you don't want an exchange. So what is a wallet? Crypto is simply a form of value. It exists on the blockchain. The main thing you need to know for now is that the blockchain is a digital ledger that keeps track of value and it hosts your crypto. Within the network is the thing that ties to your specific own crypto is something called a private key. Now remember this, it's one of the most important things of this article. It gives you control that the address and the value that is stored on your addresses. So your private key lets you control what is on your ledger or exchange what have it. It needs to be kept secure and never shared with anyone. This is where the wallet comes in. Anyone who has this key has full control of your wallet, or if an exchange has your keys, they have full control of your crypto. Despite the name, a crypto wallet does not contain your coins or tokens. These are always on the blockchain. Rather, they secure and all-important private keys needed to access the blockchain addresses and everything that is stored for those addresses. The wallet acts as a control panel that allows you to see what you have and allows you to communicate with the blockchain to send interactions. Like I said, we'll show how to stake. That's one of the interactions you would do on the blockchain. There are two types of cryptocurrency wallets, hot wallets and cold wallets. If you don't know what staking is where you put your coins on a blockchain and you generate some APY based on your coins being there, but we'll get into the details later on. Hot wallets or online wallets are a type of software that exists digitally and secures your private keys within its interface. Since they are software based and exist on your device, they are always automatically connected to both the internet and the blockchain at all times. When you use a hot wallet, your private keys and cryptocurrencies are stored on an internet connected application. This means that there's always a way to access it through an internet hack. So a hot wallet could be exploited somehow. Exchange wallets. So this is another important thing to remember. They're both custodial and non-custodial hot wallets. A custodial wallet does not give you full control over your funds. It never lets you have the private key to begin with. So when you sign up for an exchange, if it does not say, here's your private keys, write them down and do not share them, then you are not being given control of your coins. If you bought your crypto on a crypto exchange and you're currently keeping it there, you might be surprised to realize that you have no control. Exchange wallets are custodial, and that means that instead of trusting you with your private key, the exchange holds onto it for your behalf. So make sure you control your own keys. It is the only way of actually owning your crypto. That in mind, exactly, do keep those keys away from hackers. So what can you use if hot wallets and custodians are not safe? A hardware wallet like a ledger would be your best bet. They keep your private key offline. A hardware wallet is a device that stores the private keys of your crypto funds in a more secure manner away from the internet. Even if you make transactions from it, the wallet confirms the transaction in an offline environment. This process helps you keep your private keys away from the risk of the internet at all times. Hardware wallets are non-custodial wallets, and you are the only one who has access to your private keys and funds as long as you don't share your private keys. So, the safest crypto wallet is going to be a hardware wallet because your funds are offline, they are stored on the blockchain, and no one else has access to them. And we'll get into, so how is this all secured? That's probably your next question. So the ledger has a PIN code that is required when you set it up, and this means that if someone gets a hold of your device, they won't be able to access your crypto because they don't know your PIN. This is real important to remember in this article here. If you get the pin wrong 3 times, then it automatically performs a factory reset and wipes out all of your data from the device. So no matter who has your wallet, only you can access your private keys unless they know your pin. Now, what happens if you get wiped out like that? That's what your private keys are for. So your private keys will allow you to recover all your addresses and funds. So, with sophisticated attacks from expert hackers such as power glitching, side panel attacks, and software hacks like attacking power security module, some hardware wallets are vulnerable to those types of attacks. But the Ledger is different, as the Ledger has a world-renowned secure element chip, and this is a chip that is found in your passports, SIM cards, and credit cards, where you don't want anything to get through. So they use a high security chip in their devices to make sure that they are less susceptible to being hacked. The way that applications on the Ledger run, the applications are your wallet applications and your staking applications. Those are different applications you can get on the Ledger. They are all managed separately, and that is important because your transactions take place on your device. They don't ever leave your wallet, so everything is isolated per application, so that isolation prevents you from being compromised. So let's say you have Algo and Ada. If your Algo app gets compromised, your Ada app is safe, so you don't have to rekey the whole device. You just have to worry about resetting your one application that was compromised, if that application was compromised. Because any software is viable to a third-party hack, so there is still a slight amount of risk when staking. Now you might ask, how is there liquidity? How does Ledger actually allow you to trade on it if you're not supposed to go through an exchange? Because I'm going to show you how to use a Ledger to buy your crypto in this series as well. Ledger uses a DeFi protocol called Paraswap. So that was integrated a while ago. You can see this article's from like 2 years ago. It's integrated at this point. So Paraswap allows them to connect to a DeFi app that is not in a centralized exchange. So you don't have one central person taking custody of your coins when you are doing your transactions. And that's important because if they don't have custody, they don't have control. So there are 2 types of wallets. There is a Trezor and a Ledger. They're roughly about the same in price. I don't know if Trezor has the same hardware that the Ledger does, where it uses that military grade chip that is harder to hack and doesn't really get hacked. You'd have to double check that if you're interested in the Trezor. I went more for the Ledger because it was smaller and less. It was not quite as noticeable. The Trezor is a bigger device, but the Ledger does now have a bigger tablet-like device that is coming out. So there is that option now. So they're both cold wallets. Ledger allows you to have over 5,000 currencies, where Trezor has 1,816. The costs are relatively similar because the newer Ledger, I think, is almost like $300. This doesn't have that on here. There is a mobile app for the Ledger, which allows you to connect and see it on your mobile app. I personally don't use that because if your phone gets hacked, you could get access, but you would need to Bluetooth connect to your Ledger device for anything to happen. But I just don't like having any more things on my phone that I don't need to. I just feel more comfortable with that. So it does show there's optional Bluetooth. Ledger Live has its mobile app. These are durable and made of steel. There's no touchscreen, except the new one does have touchscreen. There's closed source firmware, which I see more of a positive because it can't be attacked. It can't be cross-engineered quite as easily. And they had a market database breach at Trezor. So nothing too bad because that was just like emails and names. So these Trezors come in different colors. There's an open source firmware. It offers a backup, I'm not sure what that is. There's no Bluetooth, they're made of plastic so they're a little cheaper, and there's no mobile application. So overall the Ledger holds more things than the Trezor does. So we'll get into how to set up a Ledger.
Hi there, today we're going to set up your Nano S. But first, if you haven't done so already, let's get the Ledger Live app onto your computer. Just pause the video here and go to the address you see on your screen to download and install it. Once it's installed, open the app and click Get Started. Alright. Read and accept the terms and conditions, then click Enter Ledger App. Select Nano S, and then click on the top option for New Setup. Have a look through the 4 educational slides. Then click Let's do this. Take one last look around to make sure nobody's reading over your shoulder. Then click OK, I'm ready. Click through the reminder. Then, when you get to the screen, connect your Nano to the computer using the cable from the Nano box. Once it powers up, scroll through the navigation instructions on the device. Use the top buttons to scroll right until it says Set up as new device. Press both buttons simultaneously to make that selection. Then, you'll see it's time to set a PIN code. Press both buttons to confirm. Then you'll see Enter PIN on the device. Use the buttons to find your desired number and confirm by pressing both buttons. Repeat that process until you set your PIN code, keeping in mind that you don't need to use all 8 digits. 4 or more is all you need. Once you've chosen your PIN code, press both buttons to finish. You'll see Confirm PIN on your device. Press both buttons again, and then enter the complete PIN one more time. Your screen will now say, your device will generate 24 words. This is your recovery phrase. This is the most important part of the setup. The whole advantage of a cold wallet is that it stores your keys offline and out of reach of hackers and malware. So please, whatever you do, do not use apps, screenshots, or password managers to store this phrase. It totally defeats the purpose. We put 3 recovery cards in your Nano box. Go ahead and use one. Just try to keep the number of cards to a minimum. If you have to make a copy, go for as few as possible. Okay, scroll right, reading the instructions on the screen as you go, and press both buttons to create your recovery phrase. Write down each word in order, and definitely make sure you spell them correctly. Go ahead and pause while you write down your recovery phrase. Once you write down the final word, scroll back through your words to check for spelling and word order one last time. When you've checked them all, scroll right until the device shows Confirm your recovery phrase, and press both buttons. You'll then verify each word in order, from 1 through 24. Starting with word 1, use the button to scroll until the correct word is shown. Press both buttons to confirm. Then, you'll move on to the next word, and then you'll repeat that process for every word. When you've finished, you'll see your recovery phrase is set on your screen. Scroll right for some additional instructions and security reminders, and press both buttons to continue. When you see processing, you've confirmed your recovery phrase, and the device is now storing it. You'll then see your device is now ready. Scroll right, then press both buttons to enter the dashboard. You're in the right place when you see settings on your device screen. Now it's back to the app. Now, don't worry, you haven't fallen behind in the app. It's just there in case we lose our place during setup. Just click through the steps until you get to the Hide Recovery Phrase screen, and then click OK, I'm done. Then take the short 3-question quiz so we can move on to the genuine check. After you get your A+ on the quiz, click Check My Nano in the app, then press both buttons on the device when it says Allow Ledger Manager. If the check is successful, continue. If not, please contact Ledger support. After your successful genuine check, click Continue, and go on to the Ledger Live dashboard. That's it. Your Ledger Nano S is officially set up. You still have to install apps and create accounts before you can receive install coins, but we'll cover that in another video.
So you may have heard where he said to do a genuine check. What a genuine check refers to is it's making sure that your ledger is correct. You might be wondering, why does it have to do that? Well, if someone tries to sell you a fake ledger because you didn't buy it from ledger.com, then it could have chips in it that are compromised, and when you make a new private key, it'll share that private key with that hacker, and then they'll get your information. This is like the only way you would hear of a hack on a ledger. So like he said, we're going to cover more how to get your apps and how to get started with your apps in later videos. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a wonderful night.